Hello, welcome back. Quite a big turn this one. There'll be a lot of stuff to go through. We got a little bit of thaumaturgy done though. Takes us to 4. Gets us Gnome Lore and Auspex. The final site searching spells. Why not? Not sure what else we'll cast here. I suppose Paralyze is useful for our Adept guys. We should probably go all the way to Soulslay actually. I'm going to go back into Evocation and pick up Mind Hunt. I should remember to do that. That way around. Yep. Well, I'm going to go through Alteration now to get to... actually, where's Gateway now that I think about it? Gateway's also 5. Yeah, Gateway will be pretty useful as well. You can give all of those cave grubs to an Acolyte. Not an Acolyte, an Adept, and Gateway them around later on. There's a few other big spells I need to start prioritizing. I need to start thinking about how I'm going to fight battles in the late game. Anyway, we'll get to that stuff though. For now, it's just usual research targets. We searched for sites. We did actually find one. We found the Lake of Living Water. This one has a bunch of story events related to it. Well, I'll come back to that later, but it does give you some water gems. Took control of that forest that had no anyone in it. It had no province events. And then there was another battle in Rimire. This was the direction that Man went in with his caster. He only had 3 air gems left, and she uses them all in this fight. Doing a big air elemental, and then a little one. So she takes the province, but not going to be able to do much more. Next, we sent a extremely geared tyrant into the lake. You get to play along now and ask yourself, will I get another geared tyrant killed in the lake? Let's find out. Doing okay in terms of hit points. His fatigue does go up underwater. So it's on 45 now. He does fine though. Never loses mist form. He hits real hard too. So that was Rimire. We got Rimire, but whoop. That was Holy Sea, I mean. We got Holy Sea back. So we got some more water gems. And then there were 2 fort battles. The first one is Nidian Range. This is the southern fort where I had all of my wonderful animals. Right, this is turn 1. Okay, the incoming projectiles are the battlements arrows. Instantly kills my Adept. Really unhappy about that one, but you know, these things happen in wars. You can't count on everyone coming home from battle. It's very funny when it happens on turn 1 though. Other than that, not much else here. A couple of mages, but they don't really do anything. Let's just turbo through it. They're already running. They are all still set to spam Panic as well. It's not terribly useful against this army in its current incarnation. Yeah, I really enjoyed this text as well. After the battle, something interesting was found in the battlefield. World record for thickest neck found a fur in a jar. Unusually aggressive middle-aged man found a clam of pearls. Guy who just hangs around the gym found an alquill. Good stuff. We lost the Adept of the Golden Order. A couple of units. 2 bears. 2 lions. Killed lots of mages though, and that's that. No great problems. Casein Forest was the other fort. This is the one on the east of Man's territory. Even less stuff here. Turns out that Man hadn't yet built a lab in this fort. So there's no mages, and there's not really much for us to do here either, because I was hoping that I'd be able to set up some things here. In particular, I was hoping that I'd be able to have my Death Tyrants forge some stuff. I was hoping that the Astral 3 mages that I have in this army, one of them would be able to take a cap and cast a spell. I can't do any of that because there's no lab. But we do have a fortress, and we didn't really lose anything. Lost 1 Cave Drake. Also lost a Sage to Lightning Strikes. I think we lost a bit more than this as well. There's a province that has no mages, even though we're recruiting them at every turn, which means one of the shackled mages we recruited this turn just died immediately. And a couple of events. This is the Lake of Living Water event once you find the site. Sentient forces dwell below the surface. Perhaps one skilled in the path of water could bind them to service? Let's go find out. In Thodaz, we got some good skills and lost some unrest. In Blue Water, we got a little bit of gold and a handful of acorns. And in Kolomogor, we got 6 earth gems. And that's it. I forgot to actually show off Lightless Lanterns just in case you've never seen them before. This is what I've been giving to my research mages. I'm putting them mostly in Maragnon because Maragnon doesn't have my scales, it has Uruk scales, which is Order. Which seems kind of weird, but that's actually less likely to get hit by Wrath of God than my Dominion, because it's only 1 candle. So this is the province the least likely to get hit by lightning, so this is where all my research boosters are currently. So we've got the Alquils and we've got the Lightless Lanterns. Lightless Lanterns give you 12 research bonus, but they're tainted, which means you might get horror marked. But no one's been horror marked yet, and it's not a huge deal. Alright. So there's lots of little things happening this turn. Let's start over here with Midria. You can see there's a book here. This is another story event. This is the Lake of Living Water. It's 1 water gem. If you sit in this province, I don't know what the order... I think it's one of those things that you get like a special event order that you can execute. If you do that with a water mage, you trigger a bunch of water site-related events. So, Kephisus here, he's been given that handful of acorns we just got from the event, because that gives him a retinue. And he's also been given the water bracelet to bring him up to water 3. And some water gems so that if he does get attacked, hopefully he'll summon a water elemental on turn 1. He's going to head to Midria and try and trigger some of these Lake of Living Water events. I think the good event is that you get water elementals, and the bad event is that you get attacked by water elementals, so that's why he's got all his guards with him. But he'll head to Midria and we'll see what he can do. Over in Holy See, we just took the lake. You see Calum has a giant stack on Ulm's Fort over here. Complete set of workout gear can now move all the way over to Jome, which is great. Jome has a lab, so we can switch out some of his gear. So he's just going to go over here and be in this area. He's going to be on the front line of my armies from now on. I might give him a reinvigoration item instead of the water breathing ring though. Who else have I got? Oh right, and the other thing, the tyrant we just recruited is Death 2, which is great. He'll be a great frontline tyrant because he'll be able to cast Soul Vortex with a gem. But for now he's forging a Skull Staff. Skull Staff is a death booster. Gives you +1 death magic, costs 10 gems and level 2 to forge it. He's going to forge one of them and then give it to this D1 mage we got. And then the D1 mage that we have is going to start forging Skull Mentors every turn, which is another research booster. So that's what's happening over here. We're also now casting all of the site searching spells. We've got Gnome Lore and Haruspecs and Auspecs going off down here. Try and find some more sites. Forging a Crown of Lead, I mentioned that as well. It's going to go on my Pretender. And we're going to have the fort up in Jome next turn, 1 month from everything. It's only a Palisades just now. But since the fort's about to go up, my Pretender is also going to cast Forest Dome. Forest Dome's, it comes earlier in research in this balance mod we're using. So it's a dome, it protects you from spells. It lasts forever unless it gets hit by a fire spell, but it only blocks 30% of spells. So my god's going to cast that, just to protect this throne province. And up here we've got some of the cave grubs we've just been summoning. They've been given to the Fire Mage. We've got all this stuff currently in Ard. It's all moving out. We've got grubs, we've got giants, trolls, we've got some gigantes, lots of soldiers. These guys are all going to roll out into Black Forest. This is going to be an army that I'm going to use to take some of this territory. And the army that just took Nidian Range is going to head down. I want to see what Fisha looks like. It looks like it might be owned by Man, in which case we're going to take it. It should be great, because it will be another capital for us. But there is a possibility that it's owned by Uruk or, I don't know, Calum or someone. It looks like it'll be Man though. I'd quite like to get that province next if I can. And the other big province is that you can see lots of red arrows in this area. I'm basically moving a tyrant to every province nearby, right? I'm moving a tyrant into Casein to take that, Rimaya to take that, World's Teeth to defend it, Glistening to defend it, Pania to take that, and Cavern of Trog to take that. So if I just hit Y on Casein, you can see there's a tyrant, Rimaya, uh-oh, that wasn't Rimaya. Rimaya, there's a tyrant, World's Teeth, there's a tyrant. They're just going to hit all these provinces. The slight exception is Pania, which is going to get the whole army. Because it is possible that man moves an army out into Pania next turn. Maybe he's thinking of fighting me here. I don't know. But since this fort doesn't have a lab, it's being built, but the mages can't really do anything here anyway. So we might as well move the army somewhere. Give us something to do. So hopefully we'll take back all of this territory and also take the cave, take this forest. It'd be nice to kind of lock all this down next turn. So quite a few movements. We're building up quite a lot of force in this area. I do need to start actually like slaving though. I keep moving my tyrants around, which is fine because they're really useful, but I do also need to replenish some of my troops, I think. And again, this stack is quite big, isn't it? Maybe we're not that bad on troops actually. We've got these guys here as well that are coming. Yeah, maybe it's not too bad. I don't really want to rush into man though. If I can just take his territory and just strangle him, that would be okay. Take some of this stuff. And now that we've got like temples all around him, oh my god, in my prophet, we might actually possibly be able to dom kill him? I don't know. I haven't really had much luck dom killing people in Dominions 5. And we have such a low base Dominion that it doesn't seem likely, but I don't know. Once we finish taking all the territory around him, maybe we'll just sit on his cap and see what happens. I've done that in other games though, and it's kind of just stalled out my progress, so I don't know. We'll see what happens though. Might be a few other things happening this turn. There's a lot of stuff. I mentioned the Skull Staff. Forging some more Boots of Quickness. I want to get another Tyrant geared. Light Searching Spells, Crown of Lead going up for my god. And there's the Dome and the Palisades, yep. Oh right, the other big thing. I gave the Starshine Skull Cap to one of my adepts, and he's casting Dispel this turn. I think I put like 90 pearls into it, because we got sent 80, so that means, I mean 80 alone would be a 50 pearl overcast, but I felt like I should put at least some of my own pearls into it, so 90 it is. That's a 60 pearl overcast, so I can't imagine that Uruk has a more than 60 pearl overcast on Wrath of Gods. I'm pretty sure that's going to go down. But I'm a cautious player, so I don't want to like just keep the pearls for myself. I was sent 80, so I'm going to use 80. Hopefully we get rid of that global next turn. I really don't like losing mages. This is the fort I mentioned, Bogger. We are recruiting shackled mages every turn, but it's empty, which means the shackled mage got killed last turn, just from Wrath of God, which sucks. And the message only tells you like one named commander, so it's hard to actually keep track of how many mages you're losing. But I really don't like that global with turmoil scales. It's really bad for me. Research is currently on 515 per month, which is quite good. I think that's everything though. Taking this, gonna look at Fuchsia, and then try and take some of this territory. It's possible that man moves his army out into one of these provinces, but we'll only lose one tyrant at worst in all these provinces. Unless he moves into Pania. Because he might beat this army if he moves into Pania, depending on how much magic he brings with him. I mean, it's possible. There just isn't much magic in this army. But that's the risk I'm taking. You know what? Maybe it isn't worth the risk. Maybe I should just send the tyrant. Maybe that just would be smarter. Because what's the point of sending the army, really? The point of sending the army would be that I think he's going to move units into it that I can beat. And then we beat it. If he moves out this entire stack and all his mages, I might just lose the army pointlessly. What's the point of taking that risk? When we're already ahead, what's the point? Probably nothing, right? Okay, let's change this, yeah. Let's send this turret here and this turret here since he has troops. The Pania, yeah, I'm going to keep this army here actually. They can defend and search. Actually, they can defend, preach, and search. Does that leave anyone preaching? No, because, okay, let's have the prophet preach. And you guys can patrol, actually. Alright. So we'll attack Penny with just the Tyrant, and we'll attack the Cavern with the Tyrant with the Gigantes. It seems smarter though, right? Like, what is the point of sending the army into Penny, really? Yeah, I think it's better to leave the army here, right? Because if I want to smash into man's army, I want to do it with all of my Tyrants. I don't want to just have a one Tyrant army that's just 9 morale units heading into a bunch of air elementals. Right? That reminds me, actually, I should make sure that these are all casting fire elemental and not flaming arrows. Right, there we go. Because one of them was set on flaming arrows. Alright. That's the turn. What's this one other red arrow? Oh, right, just attacking World's Teeth. Yep, that's the turn. So that was turn 49. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you on turn 50. Hello, welcome back. We got some research and alteration done. 4 is quite a nice level. It gets you Swarm. Good for our shepherds, I guess. Swarm is changed in the JBBM balance mod. More like a nature elemental than a giant stack of units. Still pretty good though. Elemental Fortitude's nice. Body Ethereal's great, but all of my Astral Mages can also just drop gifts from heaven, so it's hard to imagine using it much. Curse of Stones you might use a few times. Destruction's pretty good. Blight would be funny. Drop this on man's cap a few times, just to the psychological warfare aspect. Try and make people go AI by making them miserable. Yep. Alt 4 is a nice little... Alt 5 we get Rebuke Fate, which is a spell that's added in the balance mod as well. Basically transformation for Tyrants. I'm quite interested to try it out. I'm not really sure what it does exactly, but pretty cheap, so we'll give it a shot when we get there. We're going to go all the way to 6 though. Same targets. None of our remote site searching spells found anything, of course, but we did manually find something with Elderly Hot Yoga Guy. Found 2 magic sites in Casein Forest, which is the fort we recently captured from man. So there's now a Tar Pit, a Forest of Truffles, and a Magus Temple there. It's pretty good. The Magus Temple allows us to recruit Maguses, who are not bad, but they don't really give us access to anything that we don't already have, so... But they're there. As for battles, everything was pretty straightforward. There's nothing really too interesting. My big army's heading south, no problems there. Everything else just hit province defense or defended quite easily. Kazhaidor's the desert, and Cavern of Trog is the cave. Nothing too interesting. Rimmer is kind of worth watching though, I suppose. It shows you what... well, I don't know, I just found it interesting to see just a little Mage trying to stop a fire elemental. Because she does hit it with a lightning bolt. Which does stun it eventually. Takes it down a shape. Takes it down a shape again? That's not too bad. You did pretty good. As for events, Midria, we started doing the Lake of Living Water events. We'll get to that. Gained a Pendant of Luck and found 5 Nature Gems. The other thing we did this turn, of course, is that we tried to cast Dispel. Do you think the massive Dispel that we cast was successful? Well, it was. So that's the end of Wrath of God, thankfully. You may have noticed the no lightning bolt message in the event list. So that's great. It didn't really cost us many pearls since we mostly used other people's. Worldwide event is that there's still misfortune in the world from the throne. We finished the Palisades in Jome, and our scout was caught. by Calum. I sent one scout out into Calum's territory and saw a huge amount of patrollers, including these Grey Knight guys, who are ethereal knights. I think they come from a site, right? Like, I think he's found a site that lets him recruit these. Pretty sure. Okay, so this turn, first things first, right? First things first, I'm gonna summon, I'm summoning the unfortunately named Black Servant, who is a very, very stealthy undead commander. Summoning one of those, and I'm forging with the D1 guy with the staff, getting him up to D2, forging a Bane Venom charm for him. This is a really annoying item that spreads diseases in provinces and kills 5% of the population. I'm gonna give the servant the Bane Venom charm, and I'm also somewhere in my empire forging a pair of winged shoes as well, so that he can fly. So that's gonna happen. Next turn we'll have him, and we'll send him to sit on man's cap. So I'll show that off next turn when it happens. Now though, it's being put into action. Other than that, the movements this turn aren't too interesting. I'm moving 3 tyrants to Jerome and 3 tyrants to Casein Forest. They're just going to catch some slaves for a bit and do some patrolling. I'm going to just sit on man's cap with a Bane Venom charm for a bit and try and upset him. I don't particularly want to just smash my units into his if I can help it, so I'll just try and demoralize him for a bit. And while that's happening, I'm taking all of these provinces down here. Hopefully this goes fine. It's hard to really tell how much stuff he has down here. There's a stack here that I assume has been moving from Ironwood over to defend Fisher. And there's a stack in Fisher. Doesn't look like there's many mages here because there's none in the list, but we can see his god. So we should be a little bit careful about fighting into a fort that has someone's god in it. But even so, the big stack is going to roll into Omia. The Gel Cube led stack is going to head into Lost Canyon Range. And then a single tyrant is going to try and take Eel. Probably move you back a little bit. And once that's done, all 3 of those armies, including the single tyrant army and Eel, will be able to move on to Fisher in 1 turn. Given the way that man's been playing, I think that'll be fine. I don't think he'll move into me. So we should be able to move into Fisher from different provinces without too many problems. But we'll see. So the turn after this one, we'll start sieging Fisher, and we'll be sitting on man's cap with the Bane Venom charm. And I don't think there's much else happening other than that, actually. There's a few things being forged. Doing the site searching spells, of course. And I think I'm forging I'm forging some more nature items, whips and endless bags of wine. Since we're going to be catching more slaves, I might as well make sure that I can actually lead them and feed them. And I'm forging a reinvigoration item somewhere. There's the winged shoes. My god's doing it. I'm forging a girdle of might to give to the geared tyrant. And I need to forge a few more pieces of gear to give to the second geared tyrant as well next turn. We'll get to that. Still forging Lightless Lanterns, of course, as well. Once the Bane Venom charm's been forged, we'll start forging these research boosters as well. 14 research for 10 death gems. Not too bad. And yeah, I think that's everything for this turn. Building temples as well, I suppose. That's maybe worth mentioning. I could get these forts upgraded, but I'm putting down a temple in Casein and a temple in Forest of Eden as well. Try and strengthen our Dominion a bit. Maybe we'll be able to get up to Dominion 7 with 2 more temples, I'm not sure. We'll see. Man's Dominion is actually quite strong down here. I thought it was interesting. Isn't it? Where did I see? I saw like at least one province. Oh, it's this one. Viridian Range has 7 dark candles from man. So this region looks like where the bulk of man's Dominion is. I'm not sure about his cap yet. Maybe we'll be able to see that when... No, we've got a scout there now. I guess you can only see Dominion strength if you own the province. I guess that makes sense. It's 3 dark candles in the wasteland. I don't know. Anyway, that was turn 50. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Hello, welcome back. Got some more alteration done. Research is going very fast now, 746. So we're almost at alteration 6. Didn't find a single site with any of these spells, but we did summon our stealthy commander, who is named A Complete Loss of Gains. Unfortunately, even with the winged shoes, he cannot fly to man's cap in one turn, so no Bane Venom Charm just yet. Dire Portent. Turns out another reason that Ulm wanted something dispelled was that he wanted to get a global up. Spoilers, this is Vengeful Water, another awful global enchantment. Fortunately, the only lakes near us are very, very strong in our dominion, so it's not too much of a problem yet. Ulm is one of our neighbours though, so... then there were 3 battles. Interestingly, there was a battle in Winner, which is the province I was in, because Man decided to move into me, which I didn't expect. I thought you would roll all of this into his cap immediately. But it looks like, because his god is also in this battle, so it looks like he moved the stuff from Winner, no, the stuff from whatever province it was into me, and then the stuff from his fort into me as well. And then won the coin toss. So his army's kind of puny, but it is everything he's got, and this is not my whole army, because I split up a bit. And he does have his god in the fight. I just showed off, and Death 4, Fire 4. It's got a skull staff and a horror helmet. A ring of regen, dancing trident. Does regen work on undead? Not. Yeah, I guess so, because he's got regen. Wait. Okay, it's inanimate beings that it doesn't work on. He's also got a lot of nature casters, which you'd probably expect. There is one guy here with a Thistle Mace who does Howl. I can't find him. But yeah, lots of gems, lots of nature mages as usual. But we just got mostly trash. A few of our summons. And lots of fire elementals as usual. Man also has flaming arrows now. How pretty. We're still on fire archers, which doesn't work quite as well now because the mages aren't quite inside the archers anymore. Howl is a bit annoying because our Evo spamming mages start doing that. And then there's some panic spam as usual. Our fire allies are still very good at killing man's troops though. The falling fires are quite good as well. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit now, since we both lost our front lines. But I still have the Gigantes and the Giants. Gigantes and the Fire Elementals. I didn't think to bring any water mages with me when I started leading out troops. But since Man's God is doing Lords of Skeletons, it looks like. Well, I guess this is the other one, right? The big raised dead one. I guess maybe cleansing water would be good. We end up losing that battle. But kind of a weird one though. Man lost one Mother of Avalon, and I lost one Sage. So in terms of mages, we both pretty much came out evenly. And then I lost 95 troops, Man lost 120. So pretty equal all around. I think equal is better for me though at this point, because it's obviously a lot easier for me to replenish troops and things than Man, because Man has lost a lot of provinces at this point. But there's the result. 2 other battles in Lost Canyon Range and Eel. Lost Canyon Range. was were the other army I had coming out of the throne fort. And they do fine. There's just a bunch of province events here. Get to see some gifts from heaven, which is always fun. Lost some helots, that's okay. And then Eel was just the one that I sent my lone tyrant into, who doesn't hit much province events. So it was about how you'd expect. It is Barb PD though, which is pretty good. So that was Eel. Events in Midria, we got a water elemental out of the lake. In Realm of Silence, we got Unrest plus 33. In Orient Sea, we got 2 fire gems, and Black Forest, we got a bunch of gems. Lost another scout and did some patrolling. Yeah, the event, by the way, it lets you do a bunch of orders. There's Investigate, Withdraw, and Magic. Investigate just tells you about the site, and Withdraw sort of ends the event. And then Magic is like a slot machine. I think it's either you get some water elementals or you get attacked by water elementals. They're just size 2. So I'm just going to keep doing that to build up some free water elementals here, I might as well. Okay, so here's the, I've already showed this, yeah, this guy's going to head over to Jome, and then we'll sit him in man next turn. It should be okay. I've got a scout still in man right now that hasn't been discovered, so I don't think man's patrolling. So we'll disease all his stack. Other big red arrow is just moving out another tyrant with some gear down to Nidian range, so he'll be in strike range of both of these theatres. I'm going to forge the rest of his gear this turn as well. And other than that, just doing some site searching spells and usual stuff over on this side of my empire. Over here I'm doing a few other things. I am now capturing slaves with my tyrants. One of them is forging a horror helmet. I've got one of my tyrants in Jome casting Rebuke Fate. This is the new spell added in the balance mod. So I'm not sure exactly what it's going to do. This should be fun. Let's see what we get. I'm pretty sure it's like transformation where it can have good outcomes and bad outcomes and pretty mediocre outcomes, but let's give it a shot, and if it's something cool we might do with a few more of our tyrants. Preaching in Forest of Eden since there's a temple here now. Try and push some more Dominion into man, and hopefully end this event as well. And that just leaves down here, which is the main place things are happening. That reminds me actually, I was supposed to give you some fire gems. Yeah, so I've got units now in Eel, in Nidian, and Lost Canyon. I can't get the units out of Nidian unfortunately because they don't have enough map move. But everything else can get out of Nidian and move into Omir in one turn. I can go from Eel to Omir, and I can get these guys into Omir as well. It's a good province to sort of meet everything back up together to put together a single army. So that army looks like this. I've tried to put my mages right in the center now, with the cubes just behind them that are quite slow. And that's to make sure that if Hal goes off again, there's like a nice buffer of cubes around my mages, keep them safe. Other than that, we got some spear guys here, Gigantes here, and trolls here. That's basically my front line. And we've got some grubs and some hurlers in the back as well. There's also a few crossbows and quite a few archers, which is something, I suppose. We've got some tyrants doing flaming arrows and fire elementals as usual, and we've got the big geared tyrant down here as well. He's going to do a bunch of buffs and then just attack rear. I've actually got him on like 5 turns of buffs at the moment. Where is he? Yeah. He's doing the full complement of Earth Power, Ironskin, Mistform, Temper, Flesh, and Fire Shield, and then attack rear. There might be overkill. It might take too long to get him into the fight. But he does have Boots of Quickness, so once he's finished, he'll zip forwards at least. But I'm also moving out another Adept, and he's bringing some fire gems with him. And the reason for that is just because I think it would be quite nice to actually be able to cast Heat from Hell again in a battle. And I can't do that with just Jaws, because a Jaw is just 1 gem. And I'm pretty sure, actually I didn't check, I probably should have checked before I started saying this. Heat from Hell's 2 gems, right? Yeah, it's 2 gems. So I'll need to actually give an actual gem to somebody to be able to cast that. Yeah, so the plan is still just, we'll meet up in Omir and then attack Fisher to take that. We'll see what he does here. He's not going to have many troops left. I think I'm going to come out ahead, and I'm going to have another geared tyrant on the way. Where is he now? This tyrant's going to have, I think, an Amulet of Resilience, a Horror Helmet, and a Lead Shield. Just to be a little bit different from the one we've already got. So that'd be nice to have two really geared tyrants on the front line. Are either of these? This one's D2 as well. Is this one D2? No. The D2 one will be able to cast Soul Vortex as well when we get it, which won't be long now. We're up to 746 research turn. Trying to save some fire gems to start forging fire boosters though, to make sure we've got them. I think that's it for this turn. Still sending scouts out. I'm getting some scouts through Uruk's territory now as well. I'll try and get some scouts down here through Ind and up here through Nabar. I'm still just recruiting scouts in Meridon. It's my only scout province still. You can see my mages have got quite a few research boosters now as well. I am still trying to forge those. Oh yeah, the Death Mage in my cap is doing Skull Mentors every turn now as well. Yep, I think that's it though. There's a temple going up. Suppose I could mention that. Where are you? Nidian. Yeah, the fort we just took. We've got temples now in Casein, Kratos, Jome, Forest of Eden, Cunal, and Saharan. So he's got like a ring of temples around him. Yeah, if we're lucky, maybe this will push Dominion into man. I was going to check, wasn't I, if my if I got up to Dom 7 yet or not. I have. I'm Dom 7 now. Cool. That's something at least. Once we've sat a diseaser on this province for a while, to make sure that most of his units and mages are diseased, we'll probably hit him with a few ranged attack spells, and then we'll just move the stack in. We're catching slaves with 4 of our tyrants in this area now, so this is going to be a very big army, but I want to make sure he's as weak as possible before I move in. And hopefully these units are enough to kind of resolve everything down here without needing any more backup. This isn't like the biggest army in the world, but I'm just kind of hoping it's enough to take out Fisha. Okay, that was turn 51. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you next turn.